we've ever had. So, so what's the point of saying women are emotional? Men are also emotional. Are you not seeing it on this Love Island? No, are you not seeing these dudes get in their feelings? So don't do that. Don't do that. The amount of men that physically abuse women are doing that out of emotion. They are taught to suppress emotion. So anger is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. Yeah. They're taught to think logically and respond. Okay, and yet they don't. And yet they don't. I agree. Okay, so Taylor, I asked you to just send me the DM of the study and not speak on it more. I have to leave the live to actually fit it to you. I mean, yeah, you can do it. You can do it later. You can do it. Yeah, I am. At your leisure. I have a question. Go ahead, Yana. Okay. This is my first live, so y'all bear with me. I'm a little torn. Up to misogynist. I'm a little torn on the Huda situation. Like, I'm feeling very 50-50 about her. I do not agree with all of the internet diagnosing this girl and like trying to label her as like a sociopath.
Grand Rising. How are you, Bianca? I'm up early, girl. Look, I look tired, huh? Look, I got my Louis Vuittons today. I've been up since like 2, girl. Couldn't get back to sleep. And so now we're over here on LRGA Curves. Thanks for coming through. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell, because we're up and at 'em early, talking about love bombs, Huda, Love Island. It's my first time, and I feel like it's a wash. I'm not seeing the love. I'm not feeling the love. I'm not. So I'm actually in a TikTok live simultaneously.
I need to understand the love bomb.
And so we're going to be going back and forth listening to it this morning. How are you, Bianca? Love you. Thanks for being here.
No. I just think, to me, my definition of love bombing, of what he did, was just them being so infatuated with each other so quickly and talking about their life outside of the villa so quickly that it had only been 3 days, and they're kissing and they're fucking. And granted, it was a mutual thing, but I mean,
you did? Are you still doing property management?
I feel like they both love bombed each other. You can't.
I was thinking about that for some reason. I don't know. I was thinking about you in property management and feeling like you had a new office or something. I don't know why I felt like that recently.
Why can only one party be a love bomber?
Oh, right on. Yeah, I'm in somebody's. You'll see, I'm live over here. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Are you going off of like your definition of love bombing? I mean, if you would like to give me your definition of love bombing, I would be open to that.
So, did you watch any more of the Love Island? Did you just start at 20?
Somebody a lot, doing everything for somebody, then taking it away, then doing it for somebody, then taking it away. No. How did he do that?
Yes, taking these fair housing classes right now. Yes, a huge new office. Yay! You did so good. Oh my God! I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, you're giving me goosebumps. We're moving on up to the sky, to the deluxe office in the corner. We're moving on up to the top, to that deluxe position in the sky.
Wait, okay, I don't remember it. I don't remember it like that. That's exactly what happened. They coupled up. I thought you cashed out with Jeremiah and Iris.
That's exactly what happened. That's why I said Jeremiah is very avoidant and dismissive. That's as soon as they got in his head, he started avoiding that. And all
okay.
That's why he walked away. And y'all say,
can I just...
Hold on.
We're trying to get words interjected. So, but in the meantime, we're talking about, so is Jeremy a love bomber? No.
An overabundant display of affection, attention, gifts, like very lavish. It's the correct. No, because like what the question, have you watched Larry? There has to be a weaker, someone who is more reluctant in the relationships when there is love bombing going on.
And Jeremiah was the more reluctant one. We went over the definition of love bombing, and Huda was in the position of the love bomber. She got intimate fast. She mounted him day 4. She was leaving hickeys. She didn't She said, I love you day 2. He had hickeys within the first 24 hours, you guys. His boundaries weren't respected. There were so many things.
That's why I think, in my opinion, I feel like they love bombed each other. No, that's it. That's the problem I have with the hooded defenders, because y'all keep trying to make it sound like
they keep trying to make it that they love bomb each other, and they didn't love bomb each other. Huda was the only love bomber, you guys. We did the classic definition of love bombing, and Google it yourself. I don't have time because I already did, and plus I'm on my device now. So the love bombing happened from Huda. And for Ace to call Jeremiah out on it is very sus. Okay.
Yeah, it's important. Just by the way, just so y'all know, there's some. I'm not saying that you don't understand them, but hold on. Like,
yeah, remember to smash the buttons, y'all.
When I mute y'all, but literally, it's my life. So if I'm trying to make a point, I'm gonna mute y'all so I can make my point, and then y'all can talk. I don't see how that's rude. But no, literally, we're having these conversations because what's going on this island, we've seen in real life. We're trying to understand real life. We're trying to even protect ourselves from having to be in these situations. So yeah, she's gonna Google to make sure she understands the point that she's trying to make, because we're all learning from each other right now. Oh, and she left.
I think that Yana's point is like, I think she's okay for having her opinion. I just think the term is incorrect. But I do agree with what she's saying. I think that Huda and Jeremiah was obviously doing too much too fast, and that clearly didn't work out correctly. But I just don't think that the term is correct.
Even he acknowledged that.
Can I talk?
Even in his interviews outside, like when he came out and I think he had an interview with the white guy.
We're in a TikTok live.
Jeremiah even admitted that they moved way too fast. He even told her in the villa, he said, hey, I think we moved way too fast. We need to start over. If that conversation had went any differently than it went with when they were in that villa, and he had that conversation directly with Huda where he was like, I want to start over. We went too fast. We need to start up as friends. We can build this over again. If that conversation went differently than it had, he would have been standing on the outside of her door instead of Iris's. But in that conversation, he wasn't telling her what she wanted to hear in that moment. So she, again, threw a little tantrum and walked off. And at that moment, he said, it's done, because he recognized that there was no way of getting through to her when he's sitting there and
he was completely done.
In order to,
so when Jeremiah, we're still talking about Jeremiah because it's relevant to Huda. People keep saying that Huda's changed and whatever, and she hasn't changed at all, because change takes opportunity and time. It takes self-awareness, reflection. It takes a lot of things that Huda hasn't even had the opportunity to engage in the pressure cooker that is Love Island. So all of this, I've grown, I've changed since I've been here, bitch. No, you haven't. Really, bitch? Well, let's put up a gear. I'm going to put up the really bitch gear.
I'm not saying slow is
I'm going to put the trucker hat up.
But it is ableist. And right now, maybe on a different
I think the really bitch trucker hat should have just popped up. There's a whole line of really bitch.
I'm not allowing
because really bitch.
And just so you know, FYI,
like,
y'all, if you didn't know,
you're thinking that you're
cool right now when we're
supposed to win the 100 million, the 100,000. It's like 100 million.
It's not to use that term right now. Okay.
So part of also this being triggering is the fact that it's so
he was talking to her
abusive
stuff, and she was
I told you guys,
really
I have black sons.
Back to the girl, and
if a bitch ever treats my sons the way Huda just treated Jeremiah on TV or off of TV, we got problems, bitch. We got problems. I don't care how old you are. I might be Miss Wanda on that. I might turn into Miss Wanda. And you know how Miss Wanda's all up in Letitia's business over there in the Huntsville streets. Where those girls paying all her own taxes, yet Miss Wanda's all in her business, okay? So I'm practically Miss Wanda when it comes to the treatment of my people at any time. With that much disrespect, I'm at least writing a Yelp. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel y'all.
So, and then to have her glorified,
hey, look, listen.
and all the grace that black people are extending Huda specifically is only turning around to bite them, that now they're the villains. for extending her grace and under fucking standing when what she needed was a boot to the ass and the door and rocks to kick. Because you know about kicking rocks. That means bye-bye. She should have got a bye-bye. Not a BBL. She should have got a BB. Just the BB. Bye-bye. Not a BBL. Okay? But no, production decided that, oh, she cussed that.
I am not licensed. I am not
She
trained in
cussed
that
that
aspect.
black man out for 2 days. And the higher ups were on the phone. They were like, oh, did you see that? Oh, great. That'll play right into the narrative. Yeah, leave that up. Is there any way to make him gone a villain? There is. Public vote? He can end up in the bottom? Who to save? Okay, make that happen.
Everything that she was doing, I recognize as a trait.
Because how is Huda still on the show and gaining traction, gaining popularity? There's a whole tribe of Hudas that have come out of the woodwork like termites to reveal their true selves. As a Huda sympathizer, it's kind of like being a MAGA sympathizer. I'm like, wrong is wrong, dude. Wrong is wrong at this point. Like, you just got to see things for what they are. Wrong is wrong. Okay?
I asked you a specific question. What would you consider
wrong is wrong?
Give us an example.
And I have no idea how you're going to sit up here and try to glorify, justify, and reason away that woman cussing that man out, mounting him against his will, freaking leaving hickeys on him, and even more hickeys after getting called out on it, emotionally abusing him, holding him hostage, threatening others to the point where they thought she needed backup when she pulled Iris. But Jeremiah's the problem. I told y'all over here on LRGA Curves, there's a phenomenon in this world where you look around for the nearest black person to blame, even if they're the victim. Look around. Oh, it can't be that not black person's fault, or that closer to white person's fault. It can't be that person's fault. Where's some brown? Jeremiah just got cussed out for 2 days. He got emasculated on national TV. Oh, is this how people are doing it now? Jeremiah got emasculated on TV for 2 days. He got disrespected. He got lied on. He got maligned for 2 days. And the people are just supposed to take it? They are, huh? Is that the challenge now? Have you seen those? Where the people talk to the hand? Is that the new thing, talking to the hand? So there's a huge issue with the normalization of Huda, to me, specifically as it relates to blackness. Like if she was up there cussing white girls out, I might think it was more entertaining. If she was up there cussing Nick out, telling Nick he's not a man, telling Nick that he's a liar, telling Nick all these things, leaving hickeys on Nick when he didn't want him, even Austin, I might think the shit was funny because it wouldn't hit home so hard. But when I look at the treatment post, what's obvious abuse, what's obvious abuse for entertainment, the propaganding and the programming of harmful stereotypes against blackness for entertainment, that's when I start having to talk about it over here. And well, I mean, it's going to be fun and entertaining and everything, but we got to also like keep it real, okay? And real means that if we're allowing it for entertainment and Huda's gaining 500,000 followers a day, every time anybody now speaks up for her or speaks up as to the things that she's been doing, because I told you guys, every episode is a day, except for they're off Wednesdays. So there was no episode yesterday. So today is going to be number 27. We voted on Monday. No, we voted on Tuesday. And our votes from Tuesday are going to affect tonight's show. So they've been on the island now for more than 27 days if they're not filming on Wednesdays. So they've been on there for almost a month already, right? So out of the 30 days, we see Huda misbehave, crash out, gaslight, love bomb, blame, malign, intimidate, be aggressive, be passive aggressive, be an emotional manipulator, be a physical, sexual manipulator. She be trying to put that ass on him to make him forget. Jeremiah's trying to talk about clear boundaries, and she's like, "You want to go take a shower? You want to go take a shower?" Right? So that's sexual manipulation. Other types of physical manipulation was leaving hickeys on him to mark him. Like I told y'all, that was like peeing on his leg.
Leaving a mark on somebody's body when they ask you not to.
Look, we're talking about it.
And dismissing them about it.
Like Kelly said, what Kelly was trying to get to, and y'all kept cutting her off. She was like, we first of all, we were not under them covers. They were in that room making out, doing.
I asked you a very specific question. What would you call it? It is so easy. I'm just asking you to answer a question.
Give somebody a hickey. I'm confused. How's that?
Okay. I'm asking you.
Said they do not want it.
They said they don't want it, and when they confront you about it, you're not understanding the question. Let me repeat.
See, the people are crazy for Huda.
When somebody gives you a hickey, you told them you.
Oh, Bianca, thanks. Look at that.
Lied to you about it.
Thank you.
What? We're showing them all that.
He said he didn't want that hickey. I've been listening to see that. Insecurity.
That's what I'm saying.
He said it. Yeah, he said it to her. We didn't see the conversation of him saying, "Do not give me a hickey." We saw the conversation of him saying, "I told you I don't want a hickey."
Oh, yes. So yes. Petrova, what would you call it?
Well,
there is no first of all. Tell me what you would call it.
Jeez. Are you gonna let me talk?
If you answer my question, what would you call it?
Thanks, Bianca.
Like I said,
we're trying to figure out why are people.
Ma'am, I'm giving you one more chance. Give me a word or a phrase of what you would call it.
So the question is, what would you call somebody leaving a hickey on somebody who's asked them not to? And so then you're marking that person. To me, I feel like it technically is a form of SA. I feel like it's molestation, at least. And I've said that here, and this is all allegedly in my opinion, okay? And I've said this on this TikTok thing too. Me and the lady agree. So now there are people who don't believe that that's SA. There are women who are saying, oh, he could have pushed her off. Oh, he could have done this. Oh, he could have done that. And to that, we're saying that kind of sounds like that reasoning when people are like, oh, she had a short skirt on, she deserved it. Like, it's like that whole grape culture thing, right? And it's really interesting that so many women of all colors, races, dominions, are sympathizing with Huda over just being a nice person, being a compassionate person. Like I can totally get like you empathize with the single mother aspect, with she's trying hard, everybody needs love, with we all crash out. However, to reward it with positive reinforcements, and to then villainize anyone who speaks up against this type of behavior because they themselves are now tired of it and frustrated with it, which is what Shelley and Alondria are now doing on the show. I have to be able to look at the whole picture, So let's finish talking about it. We're having a whole conversation.
Okay, go ahead, y'all. Yolanda said, why am I in it? What is it about me for? So what's the guy? No, like, I can understand where Hood is coming from to a certain part, but it's a way that you treat other people. That's the only thing that I am not the biggest fan about her. I'm not going to do all that, going on her page, talking trash. I'm way more mature than that. I don't care about all that. But it's just more or less watching the show and just seeing the kind of person that she is. Like, yes.
Y'all doing too much on Huda. Like,
no, we're not doing enough.
I didn't even say anything to do too much on Huda.
I want to talk. I have something to say.
Okay. Go ahead, go.
That's all you. Like I said, y'all doing too much on Huda. Like, for real. Like, I get where she's coming from, all that type of stuff. Like, I'm not saying that she's perfect, this, that, and the third. But let's talk about it, because there are a lot of people that portrayed a lot of things towards Huda. Like, it's not just Huda. Oh, because she's crashing out, she's young, she's loud, and all that type of stuff.
Y'all gotta realize when you portray yourself a certain way, people are not gonna want to be with you. Nobody's gonna want to hang out with you. That's why people are behaving a certain way. You acting like they came on the island and was like, oh yeah, Huda, yeah, we gonna not like her off rip. They've had reasons why. When it comes down to the Shelly situation, I feel like Shelly handled it maturely when it came down to her not wanting to talk because she was upset. But I feel like Shelly's whole premise of her feeling how she feel was, I feel like she's right, because if you were feeling some type of way about Jeremiah, it's already automatic respect when it comes down to Ace. Like, even though she's talking to Chris, Ace is, we all know Ace is her number one. When they went back to the villa, who we was all thinking they might get back? She might get back with Ace. But the whole thing is, I think the girls are treating her like that because they're tired of just, dealing with somebody. It should have voted her off. They should have saved her.
When they girl, but don't act like.
I agree with you at all. I agree with you one point with the whole, like, yeah, I get it, like, you don't want to talk to Huda right now, but let's not talk about it because she did all that towards Huda, but not Ace. But Ace is grabbing Huda.
Shelly really wanted Chris. Shelly was really, her plan was for Chris to basically make her feel like that it was worth it for her to walk away from Ace. She expressed that doing a little mailbox challenge as well. But Huda intervened by using his pity, fishing for compliments mentality. So it's not only that, but because Chris was second in the runner-up, he had an egotistic mindset, which made him feel like I might as well go ahead and flow with the girl that I'm coming with. Because Chris talking about, I could be playing ball. If you could be playing ball, why did you go with a safe option? You just talked to Huda about how y'all like each other and y'all just kids. But your number one, his number one going into the villa, he said out loud, is Shelly. Right. Okay. I think that means that I don't want to game though. Like,
I'm sorry, that's all wrong because we're not about to do that. First of all,
what's wrong?
That's all wrong. First of all, Shelly wants attention. She wants attention from Ace.
Oh my God. Huda sucks up attention.
Let me talk. Hold on, because Mecca really didn't get times out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. Crazy. Let me talk. The first few episodes, right? Wasn't Austin and Ace in a triangle with Shelly, but she couldn't pick.
Correct. And that's because Ace kept picking other people and not Shelly. How was that Shelly's fault?
I have a question for the chat. This is a little off topic, but okay, the most recent episode when Olandria has snaps on Taylor, are we considering that a crash out?
No. Say it again. What'd you say, Yana? Well, you know what? I'm gonna hold Olandria accountable because he showed her time and time again that he didn't want to choose her the very first time when he stood up for Sierra. And she
what would be the difference between Olandria snapping on Taylor?
She didn't crash out though. She expressed her
that was not a crash out.
No. Because in both instances, Huda got upset, raised her voice, and cursed.
Yes, Huda cursed out Jeremiah for days, and then cursed him out across.
Oh my God, like y'all never cursed out y'all.
And then cursed him out to her face.
I'm saying though,
you're speaking off.
I don't curse out my significant other. I don't. Everybody does that.
And the thing about
everybody does that. We need to stop acting like everybody cusses out their significant other because that's not true. I've been married for 11 years and I've never once cussed out my husband.
I gotta
never once cussed me out.
I feel like.
So I don't know I tried to put a poll to see if people thought it was a crash out or not, and I don't know which is which of the emojis. But I do have to say that this conversation has shown me that abuse is normalized. I have never cursed out my spouse. He has never cursed me out. Never, ever. Any man that has ever even thought to do that was gone within 30 minutes. So it's not normal. And I understand because the way I was raised being whooped. I was raised that way. That was normalized in my culture, and I had to learn, no, that was abuse, and it deeply affected me. So, I'm trying to understand that people are coming with different cultures into this, and there is different levels of abuse that is normalized depending on your culture. But you still need to call it what it is. Like, you can still love your culture, but you need to be honest about what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what was right. I do agree, like, she did abuse and all that type of stuff. but she was also a victim of other things too, and it showed on the season. And nobody sees that because she's crashing out, she's loud, she's yelling. Like that's weird.
How is she? I think it's easy to put blame on somebody who is very high strung emotional. I feel like
I want him to answer. What was she a victim of?
Nobody's no watch.
No, don't put nothing in his head. Let him express why he feels like
in his head.
Emeka, why do you feel like she was a victim?
Yeah, please.
Because you see how she is, right? She's insecure. She has all this. Like we all get that, right? And you can see the girls confront, like reassuring
That's
her.
her responsibility. How is she a victim?
I know. I'm saying she's a victim. She's a victim because everybody talking about behind her back. She's doing everybody doing this to her, doing that, and it's like, okay, I get what y'all
doing. What?
But doing what? Nobody can say how she's a victim.
The fakeness, she's a follower.
Wait, Emeka, hold on, Emeka. Did Huda not have mean girl energy when she's calling you girls a B word?
When she called Amaya out and said
she's insecure. I'm not.
Okay, so one is insecurity.
She's not a victim.
How is one? Hold on, y'all. Because I need to understand, Emeka, how is one an insecurity and one is mean girl? What's the difference?
Right.
I'm saying Huda has insecurities. Alondria, Sierra, and Shelly.
They don't have insecurities?
They don't have insecurities?
We all have.
Still doesn't give them an excuse to treat anybody disrespectful.
Okay, you know what this is sounding like?
The same thing.
Hold on, Emeka. I'll let you finish. But the curves, remember what we were talking about early? That's what it sounded like.
Yes.
Enablement. That's what it is.
Because these women held themselves with such grace and composure all this time. Now that they're at their wits' end, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But Huda, who's been messy from the beginning, it sounds like you're infantilizing Huda and over parentifying these girls.
Right. Exactly.
These women, actually. Excuse me. Go ahead, Emeka.
I'm not. I get where you're coming from, but I'm not doing that. I'm not excusing the fact that what she did. I'm saying like a lot of what she did was not right, like the way she reacted, but it's out of her insecurities, it's out of the trauma, the pain that she's been through. We can all see that she's very insecure.
It's not even an excuse. You do understand that most people.
That's not a reason. That's an excuse.
It's not.
Just because I feel like I'm ugly, that means I can diss every woman that I feel like is ugly.
Hold on. To the chat. Oops, sorry. Hold on, Emeka. To the chat. Yes, I'm a Huda hater. I don't know how it took me so long to realize I don't like Huda. I think she's manipulative. I think she is abusive. I am concerned about her daughter. I think she came to this island to have fun and maybe look at like there's a lot of things about Huda I don't like. I haven't even gotten into just the little things that I find manipulative about her because there's so much more pressing, egregious things about her behavior that I can't even get into the little things. So I don't know how you're just now realizing. But Emeka, again, why are you infantilizing Huda? Why do you have sympathy and empathy for Huda, but you don't have it for the other women on this island?
I think it's because Huda is still a person at the end of the day. Again, we don't know these people. Wait. I want to get my point across. I feel like Huda had a very low moment, which every single one of us in this chat have had. I'm not excusing her. What she did was dead ass wrong. I don't agree with her going around that villa calling that boy a bitch. I said that when I was watching it.
And
I do think that she needs to go find better ways to.
Yana, the issue is Emeka is giving grace
stop
for
it needs to
Huda
go.
and holding these other women to a higher standard.
But that's his prerogative, though.
We're questioning it because it affects. Because we don't think it's a coincidence. Some of us don't think it's a coincidence to skin tone. Some of us, I personally think, it's not a coincidence. Their behavior, because Huda cried on camera first, she gets the grace. And if you are a stronger type of woman, you don't get grace.
Right.
You don't get rewarded for keeping your cool. You don't get rewarded for being professional.
I think Alondria did.
You get rewarded for being messy and sloppy and rude.
It's like the same thing you're saying because Huda's crashing out. Because she's crazy, she's this, but everybody is excusing Jeremiah.
Jared, you still haven't said. Nobody. Did you notice? Udo. Thank you.
But toxic and abusive are not the same.
I never said Jeremiah was abusive.
He wasn't even toxic. He wasn't even toxic. Not being able.
he proceeded to, water that flower, but then he realized I agree.
But it wasn't a toxicity.
Remember your thoughts real quick. Let me address the chat. Okay. So in the chat, give me constructive criticism as a host. Let me see. Give me constructive criticism. What do you want to see from me as the host? Because y'all, usually I do political lives. So now I'm talking about a reality TV show. It's a different audience. So let me know, what do y'all like to see in the host? Okay, go ahead, y'all. I hope y'all remembered where y'all were. And sorry, somebody said I'm condescending. I'm sorry. I am. If something don't make sense, it just don't make sense. It's not my fault. It sounds condescending. It just don't make sense. Okay, go ahead.
So, like, are we gonna let? I don't know. Cause I feel like Hood have been on her better behavior since the set of it.
It's constant.
Like, it's given that she's trying to not be like even when those girls were coming at her.
I don't understand how she's trying because nobody like her. She don't got nobody that like her.
But that's what she was talking about.
Nobody like her. She was coupled up with someone, she would still be crashing out over them. Like she ain't.
I feel like she's touching everybody in one life. One time to not speak for who they are. All like as a whole person.
Just like everybody else had to answer uncomfortable questions or statements. She was the only one who flipped out, cursing, and doing all that. People don't change overnight, just drastically, right?
Right. We're literally only on day.
They would speak to them if they felt like something was wrong. Producers would pull them to the side and be like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I feel like it was really producers.
Yeah.
I think that was the hood. Nobody changes overnight. That's what I'm talking about. What are we talking about? You can't grow overnight. Correct.
The hood hate is crazy.
Right, you can't. Every day.
Oh my God. So like if a dude cheated on you yesterday, does that mean by Friday he changed? Really? 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 So somebody can change. You're saying that somebody can change from Monday to Friday. You just were saying.
If she's somebody who curses someone out, disrespectfully, if she feels some type of way, yes, that's what I said. That is not something that she's gonna wake up the next morning and be like, "I'll never do again. I changed."
Exactly. Because you don't. Who does?
Okay, hold on. Let me know. Hold on, y'all. Okay, hold on. Yana, where are you? Hold on. Yana.
Yana, nothing, because all these people are sitting here yelling at me. Don't try to single me out.
No. I'm not. Yana, I'm trying to ask you because, okay, what is it that, because I actually did not even hear what you were trying to say.
I'm sure you didn't.
Where are you? Okay, because I get one of things. I heard what you're trying to say. Yeah. You don't just.
I don't know.
Yana, what are you saying?
Okay, I'm telling you. I think for me, it's so easy for everybody to sit up on this internet and just point the finger and say, "Oh, this person is like this because we saw them do that, and they're never gonna change." But it's like, who are you to tell somebody that they cannot change?
They're never
I never said never, hun. I said she just said she's not gonna change overnight. That's what I said. I said that takes time.
I didn't use the word never either. I, of course, yeah.
Hold on, you guys. We're definitely saying it takes longer than a couple of days to change.
Absolutely, but I was comparing her emotions and behavior when she was with Jeremiah and dealing with all that versus how she was handling her emotions when all the girls were coming at her during the Speak Your Mind challenge or Stand on Business challenge, whatever it was.
You said she controlled herself during that time?
I feel like all the girls had
the letters. Oh, the letter challenge.
Emotional, invoke things that could have invoked her to,
everyone got a letter that they did not like, that made them uncomfortable, that made them question who wrote it, and some people didn't even get an answer when they asked who wrote it. So you think that her feelings is more valid?
Right.
I didn't say nothing about her feelings being valid. When it came down to the cards weren't that bad for Huda. They were kind of just calling out on her being girls. Everybody ate Amaya up for no reason. That was crazy. Because they were actually coming at her.
Why is everybody dating it?
So they didn't even have the conversation
conversation for her because she was trying to be
bad.
too snarky. She's like, oh, well, if you guys are not close, I'm going to do what I want. Next question. Okay,
Real tea is the reason why we're all in this chat right now.
At all.
Girl,
Like, to be real, because I'm a Huda hater, and I'm trying to understand what is it that y'all see in Huda that, like, y'all just let her poo-poo on everything. And it's fine.
What's genuine about her heart? But what is genuine?
Maya, which is crazy to me. I don't see this for Maya.
Oh no, we ride it.
I have a question for Emeka.
I tell you that.
Yeah, I'm here.
So why do you think that Shelly and Sierra and Alondra are mean girls? I just want to hear your perspective.
Because I have a point, but I'll let somebody speak first.
My bad. So throughout the season, they're mean girls because Sierra is she's two-faced as fuck. She's follower. Alandra is a follower, and Shelly, she wants attention.
What did you say? Who did you say is two-faced? Sierra?
Everybody a follower.
What were the actions? What were the actions to support your point? What's
When all of them are sitting down.
Don't tell them to shut up.
I never said that. I said when all of them.
No, I'm talking to the chat. Go ahead.
When all of them are sitting down, right, and they outside, they looking at Huda, talking about her, looking at her some type of way. Even from 2 episodes ago, when
Jeremiah out in front of everybody. By the way, keep going.
What do you mean?
This girl is still in this chat. This incapable girl.
Huda was going crazy. So I'm saying you got to put in the context of why they talking about her, not just they was sitting there and they were just, oh yeah, let's shut up Huda today.
Because they do too much. They're doing too much because they don't like Huda. Period. That's why they're doing.
So do you think Huda is mean? You never have that. We don't like
Hold on. Okay, one at a time. Y'all gonna reply to Emeka one at a time. Okay. Honey, honestly, I couldn't hear anything that you said. So what's your response to Emeka?
Okay, so my following question is, with your logic, I guess, do you think that Huda is a mean girl as well? Or emotion?
No, I don't think Huda's a mean girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, I don't think you can.
Okay, hold on. Okay, next person. Hold on, next person. The Curves. What's your response? What's your response to Emeka?
Well, you already know my response is that Huda's a problem, remains the problem. I can list 28 things Huda has done in the last 27 days on that show, and no one can list what Jeremiah's done. No one can list what Shelly's done. They got two-faced is not an action.
Hold on, Emeka. You're going to get a chance at the end to so take notes to address everything. Okay, Taylor, what's your response to Emeka?
Like she said, two-faced is not an action. Not only that, but just because somebody don't like somebody does not make them a mean girl. That just further validates what everybody was saying about Huda, want to be validated, because people who use that as mean girl, mean boy situations just want to be validated and their emotions to be validated, which Huda, again, is a person who just needs the attention from everybody as if she's a good person. And the mean girls from the other girl, Alandra, Shelly, and I'm not adding Sierra in there because she is a little follower. I can agree with that. But Shelly and Alandra have really been in their own lane, trying to focus on their connections. And I've noticed that a lot of people lean on them for advice and for strength and support. And for them to call them a mean girl now because they're tired and they're just drained from being that person in the villa, and then when it's their turn, they gotta cope it by themselves or with each other. I really don't agree calling them a mean girl. They're aware.
I think the only thing that
hold on, Yana, because I'm gonna get. No. Yana and Emeka are gonna go at the end. But Dime, what's your response?
My response is pretty much the same as Taylor's, because and the Curves, taking into everything that Huda's done. If you can't see that Huda's a mean girl, she called Amaya a bitch within the first 10 seconds that she stepped into that villa. She called Iris not a girl's girl, which, by the way, I'm so tired of this girl's girl. If I hear this shit on season 8, the first people who say that shit is voted out. Because that don't make no sense. But for you to say that Huda is not a mean girl, when she set up this system of fake sisterhood, that shit did not bloom organically. She set it up so that she could have a safety barrier around Jeremiah. That's the only reason she did it.
The
now
only
that she's
reason.
no longer in that couple with him, she's throwing that shit to the wind. And she has no regard for the shit that she set up, and she's upset about it. And everybody is upset about it. Mind you, we only see a couple hours out of their day that's stitched into 1 hour, whereas these people in the villa, they living in this villa with her. They've been living with her for 27 days, probably even more than that, because again, they're in this villa longer than before when we get the episodes. So you have to think about, they have reached their breaking point. And like Taylor said, if Shelly and Alondria are the main two people that they are going to and seeking this validation and this coddling of their emotions, you get tired of that shit real fast. And I'm gonna keep saying this shit. When I was in my hood ways, baby, I exhausted so many friendships because I went to the same person over and over again, seeking validation, doing the same repetitive shit. People get exhausted. They live with this girl. They've done all of this shit. So now that they are emotionally drained and tired of it, because you have to remember, Alondria is going through that shit with Taylor. She don't have time to cuddle and sit there.
Land the plane. We're gonna go to Juan.
The plane landed. Sorry.
Okay, let me put a count there. Okay, Juan. What's your rebuttal as well? So what
I can understand why people may feel like Shelly and Olandria and, on and off Sierra may be mean girls because they were talking about Huda. I feel like, one, don't ever sit here and act like you ain't never had a mutual person that you and your homegirls ain't like, and y'all was just like, girl, we can't stand her. That's just
but we're not gonna smile in her face after that though.
Okay, and did I not say I can see why y'all said it? Let me finish. So I can understand why. Because it's like, after that, don't be in her face kikiing and saying we sisters, we besties, all that. That's
favor her on the island.
You know what I mean? Because I've been through that where I thought that was my homegirl. So a year later, oh, you didn't like me? Crazy. So yes, I get that. That is very fake. But I do feel like Huda had multiple times where she tried to put down this I'm a good friend and I expect good friend, respect when it comes to behaviors, and she's never portrayed that back. And then she tried to double back and be your friend after. The Hannah thing. She wanted to talk to Pepe and then did the challenge and then had him on it, then when she wanted to talk to Hannah, it's like, okay, at this point, it's pointless. You already did what you did. Like, that she picks and chooses when she wants to be a good friend, and then when she's a bad friend and everybody calls her on it, she cries. She goes to people saying, oh my God, nobody wants to talk to me. Shelly said, let me talk to you later. She said, Shelly said she doesn't want to talk to me. Crazy.
I don't know. I feel like...
Wait, hold on, Yana. You're going to go next after Janae.
Okay. Again, with how I feel about duality, I think that Huda is a mean girl. I think that Huda is a mean girl because she's insecure, and I think that she views women as competition. So I think that Huda is a mean girl. I also think that Shelly and Olandria and Sierra are being mean girls. I don't think that maybe that's who they are. Doesn't seem like, not excluding Sierra. Sierra seems like she's probably a mean girl. But Olandria and Shelly, I don't think that that's who they are, but I think that they are exhibiting mean girl behavior. I think that yes, they probably are tired of her, but they were tired of her. They were tired of her before the crash out. They were tired of her when they knew she was going to crash out. They all talked shit about her, waiting for her to crash out, and then still voted to save her and still smiled in her face. And then now they're feeling like, oh, let's isolate her when y'all saved her on this island, when y'all could have just let her go. When everybody knew that that's what everybody wanted was for her to go. But they decided to keep her and then smile in her face as if they don't like her. I think that is being a mean girl.
Okay, so we heard these different perspectives. So Yana, you heard what everybody said. And then Emeka, you're gonna go after Yana. I'm letting Yana go before you so we can prep for you. So go ahead, Yana.
Okay, period. Janae, I agree with what you said. I do think the girls are tired of Huda as, I guess, just for who she is. I feel like now we, again, haven't seen everything, but what we have seen, I haven't seen none of these girls really like express their true frustration against her. I feel like at the beginning, it was like, okay, girl, like, calm down. Like, you're kind of doing a lot. And then when they really started feeling the way, they started talking amongst themselves about her, even worse than they were telling her to her face. And then Kiki in her face, I love you, sister. when they're in challenges and all that. But then when it came time for the stand on business challenge, I really did not like how Olandria put her business out there like that. I don't really. Mean Girl, I don't feel like Shelly really did anything wrong. She was cool about, talking to her later. Sierra is a follower. Olandria was mean as fuck for telling that girl, like, oh, do you want to tell the class what you did, and then outing her. That was weird as fuck.
Huda did the same thing to Iris when Jeremiah picked Iris over her, and she made it to where she belittled the girl.
I feel like, okay, like, again, I don't know if you're for that, but I feel like Olandria, Sierra, and Shelly have all been together with Huda.
Okay, hold on. Okay. So Yana, is Huda a mean girl? Yes or no? Not when Shelly, Olandra, you think they're mean girls. Is she a mean girl?
Okay. Just like Janae said a minute ago, she was like, do I feel like Shelly and Olandria, like what they're doing is mean girl stuff? Yes, but do I feel like that's who they are as a person? No. That is how I feel about Huda. I feel like what she did and what she has shown us is abuse. But do I think she's an abusive person? No. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't like to make somebody's one action just be this whole idea.
Okay. So Emeka, I'm gonna get to you, but first I'm gonna try to synthesize what I heard. Huda is a mean girl in most of our opinions. She initiated the system for there to even be a mean girl. Her behavior has been the most egregious out of everybody. Now, I also think I can understand how people can call the others mean girls, but I don't call them mean girls because I think they were trying to make it work with Huda. I think if you're trying to make it work with somebody, I don't consider you a mean girl. And where her behavior is so egregious that they can have a final straw. And I don't think that makes you a mean girl. But
you could change the context and be like, oh, I don't, just because I cussed you out this one time, that don't make you an abuser. I just cussed you out this one time.
Yana, like I said before, like I understand where you're coming from about labeling her that. I understand where you're coming from because this is the environment is very crazy. I understand where you're coming from. But her behavior, she did engage in abusive behavior. We can't deny that. But I do think Huda is a mean girl. And especially if you're going to call the other girls mean girl in any kind of way, I don't see how you can get away with it.
I don't think Huda's not.
Hold on. Yana. All of that wasn't for you. That was for Emeka. Because Emeka about to reply to everything. So Emeka, unmute.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's the rebuttal?
What Danae said. Herself twice at Chris. Wasn't Huda not praising her, clapping on Jeremiah and all that type of stuff? That's what I'm saying. Like, I get what the whole Jeremiah.
The picture Evie has is my face right now. The picture down there in the bottom left, that's me right now, bro.
I get the whole Jeremiah situation and everything, but didn't she learn from that? And now look at her, what she's doing through Casa and all that. That's growth. Not everybody.
So, Emeka, like really quick, you don't think that her, and I'm just gonna rattle off some instances off the top of my head. She called Amaya a bitch. She called Iris not a quote unquote girl's girl, and humiliated Iris in front of everybody. And then after she said all that about Iris, 10 minutes later, she was up for elimination, and who stood behind her? So you have that, and you still don't think that Huda is essentially some type of mean-spirited?
No, I'm saying that she has insecurities. That's why she portrays the way she portrays. Mean girl, we throw that too loosely, and it's like, really?
So then why are you throwing insecurities? Why are you
wait. Okay, it's time for me to do my questions because I gotta understand this. Emeka, you said we throw the word mean girl too loosely. But okay, can you name the mean girls again? Who are the mean girls?
I said it was Alandria, Sierra, and Shelly.
Okay. So Huda, do you agree Huda did worse behaviors?
Yes, I agree she did worse behaviors, but we had to understand, was it intentional or was it because of trauma? I'm not saying all that type of stuff, like reaction, all that type of stuff was right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, think about that. When you react, if your husband cheated on you today, right? Are you crashing out? Are you just like, oh, I guess it is what it is? No, you're crashing the fuck out.
No, not every woman. That's subjective.
Okay, no. Okay, so Emeka, you keep coming back to what the reasoning for the behavior, and you say Huda's is due to insecurity. Do you also believe she has a mental illness?
No, I don't think she has a mental illness.
Okay, so it's just insecurity.
Yeah, that's why she portrays the way she portrays. And
okay, hold on, Emeka. You believe the other girls do not have insecurity?
I believe everyone has insecurities, but I'm saying like she portrays that on TV. We can see.
Okay. So Emeka, so the girl who portrays her insecurities is not a mean girl?
No, it's we all have insecurities.
Is Shelly, Alandria, and Sierra, are they displaying their insecurity?
No, because they hide that. That's why you see Sierra moving what she is, throwing herself at Nick, trapping him sexually. We can see Alandria out in everybody's business, and then she's talking about some but.
Okay, let me ask you. So for Sierra, what is the behavior she engaged in that was mean girl?
When when she's talking to Shelly and Alandria about Huda, like you can tell she's mean girl when she comes up to you like, oh, are you okay and all that. That she talks shit about you behind your back. Like I don't know why she's doing this. She's like, it don't make no type of sense. Like pick your poison.
Okay, so Emeka, one behavior is she was talking to the girls about Huda, or would you say she's talking to the girls about who?
About Huda, Alandria and Shelly.
Okay, so you don't think it was mean girl when Huda talked about Amaya? That's not mean girl.
I don't think it was mean girl. I think it was insecurity because of.
Okay, so hold on. So when Sierra talked about Huda, that's not insecurity?
No, it's paying her to be something that she's not. You need to understand. Let me ask you this. Sierra came for a purpose. She didn't really come for love. She came for a purpose. Why do you think people are running her account on Instagram? Why do you think she's losing followers and all that type of shit? She's
losing followers because she used a racial thing.
And she's a mean girl. Period.
Lord Jesus.
I think it's more over the racial thing.
Girl, I think that it's clear that you have a bias toward Huda. So what Huda does, there's an excuse for it, but nobody else can have an excuse. They're just mean. Huda has insecurities. They're just mean. That's what you are saying.
I know what you're saying. I literally just said that I understand where Huda's coming from. I said that. And I also said I don't agree with everything she says. I also said she's very insecure and all that type of like I said all of that. I'm not being.
No, Emeka, here's the issue. Hold on, Emeka. The issue that they're trying to talk to you about right now is that you believe Huda can do any bad behavior and not be considered a mean girl because she has an insecurity, and you're assuming these other girls who behave better than her don't have an insecurity, and therefore their behavior that's less egregious is somehow mean girl. It's not making sense, Emeka.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm saying the reason why I said she's not a mean girl is because when I say mean girl, that's intentional. If you're mean, you don't like that person.
Listen, Amaya's not intentional. When she said, "I just don't like Amaya," there's something about her. I just don't like her.
Let's clock you though. Let's talk to you. When she said that to Amaya when she first met her, are they still cool? Are they still friends? Talking this, that, and the
because Amaya don't know
Amaya. Amaya does not know.
Yeah. Amaya and Alandria are the same right now.
the only reason that Huda ever apologized to a bombshell is once they said that they wasn't gonna go for Jeremiah.
Right.
Keep it a book. Let's keep it a book.
Huda did a backbend from
Let's not
and called Iris the B word. Right.
It's interesting, really, to me, again, how people are reserving excuses, reasons, perhapses, and all of that for Huda, yet for Shelley and Olandria, who granted her grace, nothing but grace and kindness, they are getting persecuted, they are getting mislabeled, they are having false narratives put upon them by these Huda sympathizers, and it's crazy that we're being programmed to accept this in society, because now I might bump into you in real life and you might think that you can treat me like Huda, but no, you motherfucking can't. You cannot.
The reason why they're doing that is because it's Huda.
Like, no, hold on, because I was talking about this with my friend. Like, I am just trying to come to grips with the fact that, yeah, if you pull a Karen and bring the waterworks, it works. And if you try to be professional, if you try to hold yourself together, be professional, refrain from being inappropriate, it can work against you.
Yeah.
The one time they're all like reacting, a tenth of what Huda has been reacting this whole time. They're mean girls. They have questionable behavior on other things, but regarding to Huda, not at all. If anything, they have resentment against her because of the behavior she's been moving since the beginning of the season. Sorry, not sorry. Period.
America.
I agree. I think that they resent her, and I think that they resent her, and I think that they are isolating her because they're tired of her. However,
it's because it's
I do think that they enable her behavior.
That's clear that you keep saying
Right, because it's
right. America, you know why?
It is because it's
Wait, America,
it is because it's Huda. They don't like.
Yeah, hold on, America. Do you understand that it's because of Huda, because of her behavior?
It's not even just that. I'm not saying I'm not excusing that.
What is it?
It's because it's Huda. Oh, it's easy to come
Why?
to Huda.
Hold on. I'm trying to understand this. America, you don't think it's because of Huda's behavior. You think it's because Huda has like some magical fairy on her head that they're looking at.
No, you're twisting my words. I'm not saying it's not just that. It's also because she's insecure. When people are insecure, it's easy to come.
This word.
So Huda is the only. Hold on, Huda's the only insecure girl there.
That portrays on TV. They're not portraying as much as they're.
You don't, hold on, you don't think Amaya showed vulnerability of her insecurities on TV?
We're not talking about, I'm not saying that.
Hold on, because you specifically said because it's Huda. And your reasoning is because she displays her insecurity. There are other girls who display their insecurity.
I think when he says it's Huda, I think the whole conversation started off with Huda's behavior,
Exactly.
and then it became like a bandwagon, and that's why he's saying it's Huda.
Like,
there is a whole bandwagon of people that are just not fucking with her.
Exactly. Yes.
But what does that bandwagon have to do with the people on the island? They're not.
I think that's what he means by it's Huda.
You don't like Huda, so you're biased about that. We're all biased. We have our opinions.
It's not about a bandwagon.
Evie, go ahead.
None of them.
Y'all don't like
Equally
Huda.
do not.
Hold on, Evie, go ahead.
All these women have insecurities. We know this. Let's be real. This season was bottom of the barrel. We didn't get the best people. Huda, being Huda is not an excuse. Just because she's more she's not even transparent, that she is more expressive in the worst way. We don't have to provide her grace because one, she's a whole woman. Two, she's been called out on this behavior. String Bean Sam Taylor over here went to the same room of Huda and Jeremiah after Taylor told her, you gotta stop. String Bean Sam over here, six Dread Sam went over there and checked her. Like, what are you doing? We just talked about this. She's had chance after chance after chance, and even after her growth, she's still doing the same moves. So we have to be realistic. Her behavior is not okay. It should not be normalized. If you are doing
what she's doing now,
you can't do this.
What is she doing now, though? I'm confused.
In the beginning, right?
So
now I'm right now. Okay, I'll go right now and work my way back. Right now, he talked to Chris, right, and brought back for Shelly. Don't care really, but the gracious way she was supposed to do it was talk to Shelly. Like, hey, interested.
Granted, she didn't have a chance to, so I'll give her that. But that's how you're supposed to do.
Why?
It's Love Island. And at the end of the day, it's Love Island etiquette. Always have Love Island etiquette. That's always happening. You ask me a question.
And this goes back to
And she did the exact same thing with Hannah and Pepe. Hannah gave her interview and said, "Hey, I don't know what to talk about. How to drop to Pepe that I have these traumas, these sexual traumas." And Hannah's like, "Tell me everything. Let me know." When Pepe and Hannah, when Pepe was feeding Hannah pancakes, that's when Huda pulled her. Okay. That pulled him. That's when that happened. But and I think Diane's point, she set up this social contract in the house in the beginning, her and Jeremiah, that we're not closed off, but don't talk to my man. We're not closed off, but he know where home is. Literally what Sierra did. That's literally what Sierra did. And this is Love Island.
That's what
we're not supposed to do this. If you don't want your man or girl to talk to anybody, close it off. Period. So why do I have boundaries about going to explore new things? Why do I have to talk to everybody?
So that's weird. So have that same energy towards Shelly. Period.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. In this instance with Shelly and Alandria, they're good. But on everything else, like with Shelly and Chris and Ace, that was weird. Alandria need to stand up. Six dread. Sam. Well, I got a picture of him. Hold up. We got to stop. We got to stop. They saying he DL too. I don't know. If he is a little too much, but I'm not the one to talk about anybody's sexuality. Yana, please. Look, I'm not either. Look, I'm pretty LGBT. Okay.
Look, I lie all the way down, but Yana, I've been seeing that too, girl. I've been seeing it.
That boy posted it was like.
On the side note,
he ain't on him.
I keep on bringing up excuse for Huda because Huda would continuously pull Shelly to the side and say, "Thank you for not choosing Jeremiah."
I'm supposed to.
And her and Jeremiah was not close off at all.
I'm supposed to wanted that.
She did not get that from Jeremiah, and she would tell the girls that, "Oh yeah, he said we're closed off," just so they don't mess with him. But now that they're just holding her to the same principles that she created, all of a sudden, oh, how am I wrong? But I do want to say in a confessional, Huda did say I wasn't thinking about nobody but myself. And I do have to give it to her for that because she acknowledged the fact that she thought it was her world and everybody else was just living in it.
We have rice grains of growth. It's going to take her a lot longer to do the change that she was in.
Yeah.
Right.
Real quick, does anybody want to step down for a new person?
I just got here. I've been yelling in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll step down. Down. Make sure you check your messages. It was nice talking to y'all. I want to do.
Have a good day.
You have a good one. Have a good day. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody's coming at Huda this, Huda that. Like, we need to point the fingers at Shelly because the whole time she's really mad.
No, listen. I don't even think we need to point the finger at Shelly. I think Shelly.
Y'all see, hear me?
I think Shelly has gotten caught in like a really weird place of like at the beginning trying to be her friend and trying to advocate for her, and then also while trying to deal with the feelings of like, okay, girl, like you kind of losing me.
Shelly ended up doing herself a disservice.
She got a lot of feelings going through.
They should have never booed up with Huda. Shelly and Alandria, as soon as they got called a bitch by Huda upon entry, even though she said it as a air quote term of endearment, she's like, "What's up, bitches?" Remember, she came in like that, and then also all of the other housewives, all of the other islanders that came in, the new bombshells, they were always a bitch in a mean way, but they were still bitches. So that shows that Huda is only out for herself.
Why do you want me to be, tamed or whatever close off, but you get to explore Chris and me at the same time? That's not fair. I'm not understanding Shelly's response to that. I'm not getting it at all. Anybody
Exactly. That's all he wanted. He just wanted her to say sorry and take accountability for it. But when they were up there, She did not take accountability. It was always
like honestly for Shelly to keep Ace, it's not going to be hard at all. If she wants to win this money, he has a chance. If she just apologized, like I'm sorry, baby, because at this point, Chris don't want her anymore. So you're not losing out on anything.
That's why she really mad at Huda, because when she seen Chris walking with his she talking about, oh, fine as hell. He's 6'7". Like, come on, like, ain't nobody want no short thing on my soul. Like,
that's why I wish he put his big stance on since he's such a leader and just say you want to post over the girl. You had your chances before, and now you don't have any more chances. You know you like this girl. You met her before. You had conversations. Y'all had multiple conversations about how y'all feel about each other. Just close it off. I don't know why you're waiting for this girl. That's why I feel like
I'm actively talking to somebody else.
But no, let me ask y'all something. Hold on, let me ask y'all something because I think it's like 10 episodes left, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Would any new people come at this point or no?
Yes.
I heard they're gonna bring more bombshells.
Oh, baby, they will bring in bombshells.
I do have a question.
If they see somebody get
I do have a question. Is it okay if I ask?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I've been in this live for a minute, and I've been since the last panel. I have wrote down some notes, and I would like to say it, and I want to know if it's okay, and I would like to get through it before everyone.
Okay, you have the floor.
Thank you. Like, I don't want nobody asking questions yet. Like, I want to get through it. It's not that long. Okay, so first, I feel like Sierra, Shelly, and Alandria aren't mean girls. I feel like they just have a strong dislike or, feel irritated because of the past things that Huda has done. It's not a mean girl situation. It's just they don't feel like it anymore. They're tired of it. That's what's going on. I don't want to get too much into the abusive thing because I know, this is a hot topic and it's like it's too much. But this is what I wrote down. I feel like Jeremiah wasn't abusive, but he was toxic, and I feel like Huda wasn't toxic. I mean, abusive either. They were just toxic to each other. But he was talking to her in a disrespectful manner, and his tone was a little bit heightened when he was talking to her. An example is when he said "fuck" and "you're a mom" and "are you dead ass" when she was just expressing her feelings. Every time she expressed her feelings to him, he was like deflecting and saying, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?" The whole pancake situation, she was just coming at him and telling him, "Well, it was undercooked, and I just felt some type of way about it." And he just went off perfect, right like that. And that's what I like about Chris. He doesn't do that. He just reassures her, and they get through it, and no yelling, no toxicity, no none of that. So, what else do I have on here? He got hyped towards her and started cursing, and that was a little toxic. They both were toxic towards each other, like I said before. And how Huda has grown. She has grown from all the past things. She has apologized to people that she has talked about and hurt, and she has taken accountability and acknowledged what she has done that was wrong. And when she was in the When she was in the confessional, she took an accountability. She said, "Oh yeah, I know this is wrong." And when she tried to talk to Shelly, I understand Shelly felt some type of way and she didn't want to talk at that point. I understand that. I wouldn't want to talk either because I'm irritated and I don't want to say anything that's wrong. I understand that. But you had multiple options after that night to talk to her. So I'm confused on why you would air her out in front of everybody instead of having a one-on-one conversation, which didn't make sense to me because you went back to the girls that night, and had a whole clique around you. You were talking about, am I tripping? Am I this? Am I that? Talking about her. And that's the second incident that happened, them talking about her. Literally. And that's what I don't like. That's why I feel like it's not bullying and it's not mean girl. They just have a strong dislike towards her. And what else did I put on here? I do feel like before anybody starts saying that, like, oh, you don't feel like Huda is wrong on some situations. Yes, I do. The calling people bitches and her crashing out and calling Jeremiah name, that was wrong of her doing that whole thing to Hannah, but she did take accountability and then talk to Hannah after it.
Well, I like that this girl at least has a list. But
still, she explained why she did it and then she won't do it again. Every instance that she's
okay, it's been an hour. We're gonna leave and come back. I don't want to keep doing 8-hour lives. They don't get rewatched. Thanks for coming through. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Share this video. We're on our way to 5K, and we're going to have a giveaway real soon with Love Island merch, like you're at the villa, you guys. Talk to you soon.
But she is grown. It doesn't take that many days. It does.